This little into third watch, I just wanted to pray, invite anybody to join me in prayer. I want to talk to Yeshua and address him, and just praying Isaiah 53. Yeshua, I just pray that you would speak. I pray that you would direct me. I pray that you would inhabit my life. I pray that you would cut out fakeness. I pray that you would cut out dross. Help me to join you and walk in your way. Help me to preach your message, Lord. Who has believed our message, and to whom has the arm of Yahweh been made bare, naked, revealed. Yeshua, reveal Yeshua to me. I just pray, Lord, that you reveal yourself to me. Daddy God, Father God, I pray that you would reveal your son to me. I ask that you reveal your son to the church. I pray that everyone in the church would see you reveal to them, Yeshua. I request, Lord, that people's desires would change, that rather than being focused on distractions and other things, they'd be focused on you, that you would be laid bare before them, you'd be revealed to them. I just ask Yeshua that you would be revealed to the church. I lift up to the church. Lord, we're in need of revelation of you. We're in need of you to visit us. We're not in need for you to give us more information. We're in need for you to take control. We're in need for you to visit us and rescue us. We're in need for you to show us your way. We're in need for you to cut down our idols and to remove our fake ways of speaking and acting and doing and being. And I just request, Yeshua, that you would join yourself to your people. Anyone who's listening to me right now, Lord, I pray that your spirit would be near them. You are not you're not a mute idol. You speak. You're trustworthy. Lord, who has believed the message? Who has deemed this message faithful? So few. Help me to be one of the few people who do deem your message faithful, Yeshua. Help me to deem your message faithful. Lo to Arlo, below Hadar, Benirahu, below Mare, Benechmadehu. Messiah, you rose up like a little sapling, a little suckling, before Yahweh. Yeshua, help me to remember the weight of Philippians 2, that you being in the very form of God, considered equality with God something not to be grasped, but you emptied yourself and you took on the form of a slave. You were made in the likeness of man. You were made in our likeness in every way, just like Hebrews says. Teach me what that means. Teach me why that matters. I just pray, Yeshua, that we would see you. I want to see you exalted. I want to see and understand what you've done for us. I pray for any believer that hears this, Lord, that they would just right now, that they would receive a fresh revelation from you about the incarnation, that they would receive a fresh revelation about what you gave up, not just what you gave up, that you became poor that we might become rich, but what you entered into. You entered into a place where the land didn't support you. You didn't just enter into humanity, you entered into Davidic humanity at a time where no one was supporting you. The land was dry. You were the root of David, and the land didn't care for you. It didn't raise you up. And nobody who looked at you thought you were worth anything. They didn't think you were worth shit. I ask Messiah, help me not to fall prey to hubris or deception or lies, that I would be like the goats in your parable who don't recognize you, who don't recognize you when a brother is naked, don't recognize you when a brother's in prison and needs to be visited. Lord, help us to see you. Not only that, help me not to look down on people who are put low. Lord, you came in a position, you were low. You didn't have any appearance that people should envy you or want what you had. And you didn't have majesty. You didn't have a form or an appearance that people would covet what you had. And yet you had everything. You had everything they could have ever wanted or asked for or needed, and they didn't covet you, though, because they looked at you on the outer appearance. He was despised. He was cut off from men. Men didn't want to make contact with him. You were a man of pain, a man of suffering, a man of injury. You were well known and acquainted with sickness. You were known by the sicknesses. Unclean spirits knew who you were. You were like someone who people hid their faces from. You were like the hiding of faces People acted like you were leprous, like you were a source of uncleanness, and they hid their face from you. You were despised, and nobody gave you a second thought. Nobody gave you a second thought, Lord, to think about you, Messiah, as someone who was treated like a leper. I just asked Yeshua that you would give me that kind of insight. Help me to love you. You know what it means to suck. You know what it means to suffer. You know what it means to be rejected. You know what it means to be cast down. You're faithful. I just request, Messiah, that you would reveal to us what you went through to purchase our salvation. Reveal to us this way that you walked in. Reveal to us that we're supposed to walk in the same way. Lord, nivzei b'chadalishim, that we should be willing to be despised. We should be willing to be cut off from people. We should be willing to be treated like lepers. Messiah, I confess to you, that is not my heart. I'm not willing. Sort me out and help me to associate myself with you. Help me not to be one who was cut off and who rejected you. Help me not to be one who runs away and who flees and who leaves you. I don't want to hide my face from you. I want to see your face. I believe when I look into your face, I get to see the local Yahweh. I want to know you. So reveal your face to me. Verse 4. Surely our sicknesses, our leprosy, our contagion, he lifted off. And it was our suffering that he carted away and carried off. And we esteemed him. We esteemed him Nagua. We esteemed him Nagua. Leprous, struck. Mukei Elohim, struck down by God and put down by him. Lord, those who were looking on the outside, they thought it was God doing this. Many of them among the people of the speaker, they tried to say he was struck by God. And he was the one carting off our sickness. In verse 5, Vahu Machalam Yipashainu Mudukame Abatenu Musar Shalamenu Alav Uluchavorto Nirpalanu. And he was made sick or wounded from our transgressions. You were being beaten down by the transgressions of the people around you. It wasn't like a divine holy thing. It wasn't God's justice. It was the work of man beating you down. It was Yipeshanu from our transgressions, from our betrayals, from our covenant breakdowns, and you were crushed from our iniquities they were performing. They were spitting on you. They were stripping your clothes. They hated you. They were insulting you. And you were being cut down in front of their eyes and put down. They said, it's God. God's rejecting him. And the prescription, the discipline of our peace, of our perfection, of our healing, of our being made whole, our well-being, the prescription for our well-being, the instruction for it, this was on him. And in his stripes, we are healed. In his bruises, we are healed. Yeshua, though you were beaten down, though you were treated like garbage, though they covered you in lesions and in bruises, and they made you look the part of a leper, you were the source of cleansing us from the leprosy of sin. You were the source of cleansing. You were willing that we might be made clean. And though they treated you like an unclean thing, Lord, you were clean. I ask Messiah to know the clean one. I ask to know you even now. Lord, I love you. I love you. I'm in need of your cleansing all the time, Messiah. I'm in need of your cleansing all the time. Cleanse me and bless me. Help me. Help me. Forgive me for how I act and talk and think. Forgive me for how I interact and how I move around and selfishly. Help me, Lord. Help me not to walk in accordance with the flesh, which is subject to sin and death, which is subject to the leprosy of sin, death in my members, this covetousness that eats away at me. Thank you for the healing that you bring, Yeshua, the Shalomenu, our healing, our perfection, our being made whole. Whole. It sucks to carry around this leprosy. Kulano katson tainu ishladar kopaninu. But Yahweh hivkiyabo erabon kulano. All of us like sheep have wandered off and wandered astray, each man to his own path, his own way. uh, he's turned to his own way or his own path. He's turned, and Yahweh has caused him to make intercession for the iniquity of us all. An intercessor. Thank you for being my intercessor. Thank you for being my high priest. Thank you for being my offering. Thank you for making a way where there was no way. Messiah, show me that this is true. Show me that this is real. Speak to me about this. Messiah, will everyone actually stand in front of you? Messiah, did you really make intercession for the iniquity of all of us? For the perverse actions and thoughts of all of us? Testify and reveal that. So brothers and sisters, testify and reveal that to those who don't even know your name, Yeshua. Help me to be obedient to you, and I'd be willing to speak the message of your name, Lord, that others would know, Lord, that others would know this forgiveness, that others would know that you made intercession for them all, that others would know that you took the form of a slave and you took up the slave duty of carting off this heavy burden, and the heavy burden you carted away was our iniquity. And you were treated like a leper. You were treated like an untouchable. And you took this form because you're obedient. You took this form to rescue us. I believe in your rescue, and I pray for your power to fall on anyone who hears the message of your name, Yeshua. You're faithful. I give you thanks. Nigas v'huna aneh v'lo yiftach piv kaseh l'tavach yival ucharacha lifnei gozazeha ne'elama v'lo yiftach piv. You were oppressed, you were put down, brought low, and he didn't open your mouth like a sheep to the slaughter being led, like a sheep carted and brought to the slaughter, and like a female ewe lamb before her shearers. You were mute, and you didn't open your mouth. You entrusted yourself to the one who judges justly. I worship you, Yeshua, and I praise you. I live in the days where the judgment of Yah has been proclaimed over your life, the judgment of the Father. No, my son shall live. No, my son shall live. But I worship you and praise you, Yeshua. You are faithful. I lift your name on high, and I give you thanks, Lord. Help me to walk in that same way, helping to entrust myself to God. Help me to trust myself to the one who judges justly. Yeshua, how? How, Messiah? Help me. How do I walk in your way, Lord? You have filled me with your spirit. You have revealed Yah to me. Please help me to walk in this exact same way. Me'otzer mi mishpat l'kach v'yadoro mi yisakeach ki nigzar me'eretz chaim mipesha ami negalamo. From enclosement, confinement, prison, and from justice, he was snatched. And who in his generation considered it or gave it a second thought or pondered it? Because he was cut off from the land of the living. And from the transgression of my people, a blow for him. A blow was for him. And Yeshua, you surrendered yourself to the judgment of your people and the betrayal of your people and the brokenness of your people, throwing you down, not recognizing you. You were snatched out of this confinement, having been in prison, and justice was taken from you. And nobody in your generation gave it a second thought. They didn't see. They just saw you get cut off. But it was actually from the transgression of my people that you were snatched. It was from the transgression of your people that you were cut down. The blow came from their hand. Vayitin et rashaim kiro ve'et ashir b'motav al lo chamasasa v'lo mirma b'piv. But there were people. There were people in that generation, Lord, who knew. They knew something was wrong. They knew something wasn't right, particularly those who had put you in prison, the Sanhedrin. There were those in that number of judges, those who were supposed to be the judges for the people of Israel. They knew something was wrong. Otherwise, they wouldn't have given you a grave for a rich man. They gave to you a grave for the wicked and with the rich in your death on account of the fact that you had done no violence and there was no deception in your lips and in your mouth. The very fact that Joseph of Arimathea and the Sanhedrin, the very fact that Nicodemus and the Sanhedrin took your body and buried you in this tomb because they knew you had done no violence. They condemned those who condemned you by that act, because they knew that you hadn't done any violence and you hadn't deceived. And for Yahweh, yes, but Yahweh chafetz dako. Hechelim, etzim asham nafsho. And Yahweh is pleased in his oppressed or crushed one, and he will restore or heal the one who placed his life as an asham. Yerei zerah, he will see a seed. Lord, thank you so much, Yahweh, that when you finally spoke, when you gave judgment over Messiah, that your judgment was the resurrection. You were pleased. You were pleased with your crushed one, your oppressed one, your humiliated one. And you restored the one who placed his life as an Asham to cleanse us of our leprosy. You became an Asham, Yeshua, so that we could share space with God, so that we could be brought into the heavenly temple, that we could cleanse the death within our members, the evil inclination, Lord, this leprosy that is at work within us. You are a rescuer. I worship you and I praise you, Yah, and I thank you that you showed what you thought about the servant, your servant, by restoring him and healing him and resurrecting him. Yerei zerah, Ya'arich yamim, he will see a seed, length of days, v'chepetz Yahweh b'yado yitzlach, and the will and the pleasure of Yahweh, the will of Yahweh in his hand will succeed, and his hand will be successful. Thank you, Yeshua, that all of this was performing the will of the Father. All of this was fully in accordance with performing the will of the Father, and your hand, this will succeeds. Thank you, Lord, that I'm among the seed, that in me lies the seed of the Messiah, the Spirit, the seed that's planted in me, the word of Messiah planted in me, being made into your image, and that you receive length of days. I will receive length of days through you, Yeshua. Thank you. Me'amal nafsho yireh. Me'amal nafsho yireh, or from the oppression of his soul, the putting down of his life, he will see light. Yispa, he will be satisfied. Yispa b'dato, he will be satisfied in his intimate knowledge. Yatzdik sadiq abdi. My righteous servant will make righteous, Larabim, he'll make many righteous. Va'avanotam hu yisbol, he will cart away and carry away. He'll carry away the iniquity of so many. Lord, thank you, Yeshua. Thank you, Yeshua. Thank you, Yeshua. Man, I'm not sure you're raised, but Lord, thank you, Yeshua, that you stepped in the light, having been treated so darkly, and surrendering yourself even to Sheol and the most humiliating and depressing and brokenhearted treatment, that you'll see light, and you'll be satisfied in the intimate knowledge, just like Psalm 16 says, and you will make righteous many, and you will cart away our iniquities. I just worship you and praise you, Yeshua. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for carting away my iniquities. Thank you for carting away my adulteries. Thank you for carting away my coveting, my fornications of heart, Lord, and eyes and mind, my anger, my outbursts of wrath. Thank you, Yeshua, for carting these things away. You are my hope, Messiah. Thank you that you do it freely. Thank you, Messiah, that you do it freely. Lachin achalech lo barabim ve'et atzumim yechalech shalal tachad asher he'era lamavet nafsho ve'et poshaim nimna. Lord, therefore, just like it was spoken over you, therefore you will divide. You will divide among the great. Therefore you will divide to him among the great and among the mighty, and he will divide he'll divide riches or spoil, and he'll divide riches or spoil on account of the fact that he laid bare to death, his soul. He laid his life bare to death. He was counted and numbered among the transgressors, among the rebels. Thank you, Yeshua. I worship you and I praise you. You were numbered among rebels and thieves, those who actually were covetous, those who should have been struck with death and leprosy, like Gehazi, like Miriam, like Uzziah. Lord, you were numbered among rebels and treated like a leper who was covetous, but you were not covetous, and you were able to divide the riches and the wealth, the riches and wealth of all the powers, Lord, the powers seen and the powers unseen, on account of the fact that you laid bare your soul to death. Lord, thank you. You became obedient to death. I worship and praise you, Messiah. Vehu cheta rabim nasa v'laposhaim yifkia. And Yeshua, and he, cheta rabim, he forgave the sins of many. Thank you for forgiving the sins of many. And that you made intercession for the rebels, you made intercession for the transgressors. I just worship you and praise you, and I thank you. Thank you for revealing, Yah. Lord, I worship you and praise you. I love you, Yahweh, that you came down personally, that you came down directly. You came in a form just like you did in the Torah. And nobody understood and nobody saw. And they thought they were just dealing with some nobody, but they were dealing with Yahweh. They were dealing with God. So I just worship you and praise you. And I want to know you. I ask Yeshua that you would walk with me. I ask Yeshua that you would reveal yourself to me. I ask that I would walk in this way. I ask that the church would walk in light of Isaiah 53. I ask, Lord, that you would stir us up, that we would walk in the same path, that we pick up our cross and we would follow you. I worship you and praise you, and I thank you for your reliability. I thank you for your faithfulness. I thank you that you don't lie. I thank you that you will empower us to do the same thing, and we can know you and know your love, Lord. Help us to know the love of the Messiah. Let us know how high and how wide and how deep, what is the breadth of the love of God and Messiah. I just worship you and praise you. I pray my children would know that love. I pray brothers and sisters would know that love. I pray, Lord, that we would walk in it. We proclaim this message, this God who is willing to be cast down and treated like a leper by us. This God who makes himself known in weakness. This God who makes himself known to the broken and to little children, not to the learned and the educated and the wise. This God who lets our judgment systems just crush him and destroy him, and the very act destroys those judgment systems, and all judgment and authority and power on earth is given to the Messiah. I thank you, Yeshua. I worship you and I praise you. Amen. Bless you guys.